What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a pretty awesome one. We're going to be fully repowder coating a set of wheels. These are 3-piece work VSXXs, custom spec'd out for a wide body GT86, a BRZ FRS, whatever. So this is going to be the same process for any wheel. The only difference with these is we can fully pull them apart. So on here we're going to be powder coating the lip separately from the center, and the barrel itself we're not going to be powder coating. Those are going to stay raw aluminum. So there's a few different options here, guys. These are currently powder coated. We will have to ship all the powder coating off of these because the job was done terribly. Now if your wheels are painted, I know a lot of wheels from the factory are painted, you can jump right to step 2, which is going to be sandblasting. And my opinion on this, guys, if this was done properly, this powder coating job, and I just wanted to change color, in my opinion, this is my opinion, you can powder coat over existing powder coat only if you're 100% sure it's done properly. If it's not scraping off or peeling off at all, like this is here, or like on the barrel or the lip here, it's cracking everywhere. So that is a sure sign that this was not done properly. That is why we are having to ship everything off. But like I said, guys, in my opinion, if it was done properly and we were just changing color, we could powder coat over properly done powder coating job. Since these are not done properly, we're gonna go ahead, strip everything off using this clean stripper, and then from there we will sandblast everything. These have to be done 100% perfectly, guys. These are a very expensive set of wheels, very, very expensive. So I'm taking no shortcuts on these. Now if you watch like the powder coating my girlfriend's Bobby wheels, the winter wheels for her car, I didn't sandblast anything. I just cleaned them up. They're actually painted and I powder coated over the paint. They've been holding up perfectly. They are winter wheels. I didn't really care. I wanted them done fast. She actually wanted to plasti dip them. I'm 100% against plasti dipping. Maybe I'll say that for another video, but long story short, guys, your brakes basically heat up your wheel and it'll kind of like bake on the plasti dip and it won't peel back off. It's a huge mess. So powder coat your wheels over plasti dipping and over painting 100% any day of the week. If you guys want to pick up some of this clean strip, I'll have it down in the description box below. And as well as powder coating system, I'm gonna have that link down below. You will have to source an oven. That is 100% necessary. You're gonna have to source a sandblaster, or you can have someone else sandblast them. You do not have to 100% sandblast wheels, but it makes everything a lot easier. The end result is gonna be much better. If you do this properly, guys, you're gonna have perfect looking wheels. I spent a lot of time on the Evo wheels. I've spent a lot of time on other sets of wheels, and every single time they come out 100% perfect, looking brand new. Sometimes even better than new. Better than other manufacturers can make wheels look. So let's jump right into it. First thing I'm gonna do is get some stripper on the centers. I'm gonna strip all the centers first, and then we can move on to the lips. So let's go ahead and spray some of this clean strip on these centers. Alrighty, guys, that center is pretty well covered. I'm not exactly sure how long we're gonna have to let it sit on there. On the can it says 15 minutes, but being that it's powder coat, it may take quite a bit longer. So I will update you guys in a minute when I figure out how long exactly we have to let it sit on here to remove this powder coating. Okay, so it's been about a half hour. I'm gonna grab a wire brush and see if anything will come off. I'd recommend putting gloves on for this, guys. This stuff will ruin your hands if you're not careful with it. This stuff is nasty, wow. So I think I'm actually gonna grab some water and a brush and try to hose all this off because it's like, it is just caking on this wire brush right here. But it looks like a half hour did some pretty good damage on it. So yeah, let's bust out the water, try to get the stuff off. I'd say half hour did a pretty good job. You might have to do this a few times, guys, to get most of the powder coating off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and scrape away, brush away as much as I can, and then probably respray them down, let it sit for another half hour, and that should be good enough that we can go sandblast them. So we're just going to repeat this process on all 4 of these centers until we get the majority of the powder coating off. And then we can move on to sandblasting. Talk to you guys in a minute. So after we use the stripper on the centers, we should have a little stuff like that. As you can see, there is still powder coat on some areas. So that is gonna bring us to sandblasting. And sandblasting, guys, is where we're gonna spend majority of the time. We need to get every little speck, every little piece of powder coat, dirt, grime, whatever off the wheel before we go to powder coating. So make sure you spend a lot of time sandblasting, guys. Let's jump right into it, waste no time at all. Now it should look a little something like this when you're all done sandblasting. So I currently have 2 of the wheel centers done right here, and I'm gonna get to powder coating. The centers go in the oven for roughly a half hour each. They go in for 10 minutes before and 20 minutes after. So that will give me time to finish up these other 2 centers I have sitting right there. I'm doing all the centers first, and then I'm gonna bust out the lips after that. You can do it either way, guys. You can go ahead, get everything sandblasted, and then powder coat. You can get the centers blasted fully, all 4 of them, then spray those out. There's a million different ways to do it. I'm just choosing this way because I like to prep parts while stuff's in the oven, because that would take a lot of time and waste a lot of time if I didn't do it that way. So what I'm gonna do right now, these are fully sandblasted, ready to go. I just have to get them cleaned up and then get them in the oven. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab some Purple Power, I think that's what it is, some sort of degreaser. I'll have it linked down in the description box below. Guys, everything is gonna be down in the description box. The powder coating system I use, I'll have a link to where I purchased all my powder from. The only thing you're gonna have to source yourself is an oven. I went on Craigslist and got my oven for $25 and just modified the door. And by modifying, I mean I took a hammer to the door to fit 18-inch wheels in there. So that was a little off topic, but we need to get these cleaned up for the oven. What I'm gonna use is degreaser and a little toothbrush or some sort of brush. Just get all of the sand off of them, then I'll blow them off with compressed air, stick it in the oven for 10 minutes. This is the degreaser I'm using. It is super clean. I'll have a link down below like I mentioned earlier. So we're just gonna go ahead and clean up the wheel real nice. I'm not gonna be coating the backside, but I'm gonna clean it up anyway. Guys, if you were gonna coat the backside of the wheel, I'd highly recommend masking this area off. You don't want powder coat on there because it may mess with the total specs of when you're torquing down your wheel. So I would recommend, it's not 100% necessary, but I would recommend masking that off and then masking off in here. Now we're just gonna blow this disc off with compressed air. Now we're gonna stick this disc in the oven. I have the oven at 400 degrees because that is what my powder calls for. You would put it at whatever your powder calls for. It usually says right on the bag. The powder I'm using here, I believe it says 400. Let me check real quick. Yes, it does say 400, so I do have the oven preheated at 400 degrees. And we're gonna put that in the oven for 10 minutes, then pull it out and we can spray it. Now you guys are probably wondering why we are putting it in the oven right now before we sprayed any powder on it. A few different reasons. Number one, it's gonna pull all that water off, condensation off from when we just cleaned the wheel or the disc. Number two, it's supposed to bake out any impurities in the metal before we go and spray it out with the powder for powder coating. And three, if the wheel is warm when you're powder coating, it's gonna stick a lot better, because the only way it is held on before we put it in the oven is electricity. It's like electromagnetic, some crazy scientific stuff I don't really know about. But if the wheel itself is warm, the powder is gonna hold on a lot better. So that is the reason we are putting it in the oven for 10 minutes. Right now I'm gonna go ahead and get this area cleaned up right here and get everything set up for powder coating. So I'm gonna be using some sawhorses, and I'm gonna get the powder coating gun out, connect it to the air, and all that good stuff. So this is the gun I'm using, guys. I'll have a link down in the description box below. I'd highly recommend using it's like a little disposable inline filter for the air compressor. You don't want condensation or any sort of water in your air when you're powder coating. So, and it's also got this pressure regulator on it. I'm gonna have everything down in the description box. This is all very handy stuff. It makes for a very, very nice, clean powder coating. system. It's all pretty cheap too, guys. It's all relatively cheap. You can probably powder coat your own wheels and buy your whole own system at home for cheaper than you can have someone else do it. And then you're gonna have the system forever. So I always set the air at about 10 PSI-ish. So here's the system. We got the one end connected to the air compressor. The other end is gonna connect to a power outlet. So grab a extension cord. Got this extension cord here. Just gonna connect this right to the wall, and the other end goes to the power out, or the plug-in. So as you can see, compressed air to right here. This is the pressure regulator to the inline filter to the powder coat gun itself. Over here, we have the power cord connected to a power outlet. And then this little clip here, guys, that clips onto whatever you're powder coating. So that'll clip onto the wheel. And then this button, you get, whenever you're spraying powder, you hold this button down and it electromagnetically charges the wheel somehow while this is, because that will be connected to the wheel. So it runs electricity through the wheel when you hold this button down. And you'll know because that red light comes on the box. So those are all the little wires and gadgets and everything for powder coating. It's all pretty simple, guys. Very simple stuff. These are what I use to powder coat on. So I'll take the rack out of the oven, I'll set it on these sawhorses, and I will spray out the wheel. So what we're gonna do over here, grab an empty hopper. We're gonna blow it out with compressed air real quick, make sure it's clean. Now we're gonna take a spoon, make sure it's clean as well, just wipe it off with whatever. And we're gonna fill this hopper up with powder. So go ahead, open the bag of powder you have. Guys, this is very important. You gotta make sure with whatever powder you're using, you're baking it at the specified time and temperature that they recommend. So I was actually wrong on this powder. It's 400 degrees for 10 minutes. I thought it was 20 minutes. I'm used to using powder by the pound powders. This is actually prismatic powder. I've never ever used this brand before. So I'm really excited to try it out. I've used powder by the pound for years and years. It's always been amazing, but they didn't have the color in stock or the shades in stock of black that I needed. So that's why I went with prismatic powders today. I really like their website and they ship super fast. They have insane amounts of colors available. So I'll have prismatic down in the description box. I'll have powder by the pound, PBTP. So we're gonna fill this up about halfway, or let's say a third of the way. You don't need to go too crazy. As soon as you're done with that, close up your bag. You don't want anything getting in your powder and contaminating it. And we can throw this hopper on the gun now. So this powder coat hopper just screws right to the bottom of the gun, just like that, guys. Super simple to do. And we are pretty much ready to powder coat as soon as that disc gets out of the oven. As I said earlier, it's gonna be in there for 10 minutes at 400 degrees. All right, guys, that disc has been in for 10 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead, pull it out, and set it on these sawhorses here using the rack out of the oven. I'll show you guys what it all looks like. And I always use a set of welding gloves to pull anything out of the oven because it's baked really hot. It's at 400 degrees, so it's pretty damn warm. So here is the disc. Guys, if this was a whole wheel, I would set it up on its side like that. So the disc would be facing up like this, but since it's just the disc itself, we can just leave it down like that. Now we're gonna grab our little clip right here, guys, and we need to attach it to the wheel somewhere. So I always go on the back side of the wheel, just reach up underneath and go somewhere on the hub. And now, to powder coat it, to actually powder coat, like I mentioned earlier, this thing's always kind of a little bit difficult to stay on. There we go, I found a good place for it. So this button, anytime you're spraying right here with the gun, you need to hold this button down. That charges the wheel with electricity, so the powder will actually stay on. And you don't want powder coming out of the gun too fast, so go ahead, adjust your pressure. I always try to get all of the difficult areas first, and then, so right now I'm doing where the wheel bolts sit. And then we will move on to the more simple areas. Make sure you're holding this button down right here the whole time you're spraying with the gun. Very important you do that, guys. Now we're gonna move on to inside the little spokes here. Spray those out. And the amount of powder we're putting on, we're just going for full coverage, guys. You don't want to sit there in one spot for a while and build powder up. Not necessary at all. It won't do anything for you. So as you can see, we haven't even gone over the spokes themselves yet, but they're pretty much already coated. So So we're just gonna do a quick little layer on all that. Now at this point, I usually like to grab a light and shine everywhere. Make sure we have full coverage everywhere on this wheel. If you're missing anywhere, guys, you will probably have to redo it or recoat a little bit. And that's never fun. So that all looks amazing. This outer little lip right here, I'm gonna go ahead and spray out. Okay, this is ready to go in the oven. So like I've already said, 400 degrees at 10 minutes for this powder. Other brands, other colors, other textures, everything's gonna matter, guys. So make sure you read the bag. If it doesn't say on the bag, go to their website and it will tell you. It tells you every time. So let's go ahead. I say go ahead too much, you know that? But let's plop this thing back in the oven. Make sure you're not letting it touch anything, any edges, anywhere. Go ahead, slide it in. Close the door. One major thing I forgot to mention, guys, if it says 400 degrees at 10 minutes PMT, so that means part metal temperature, you're gonna have to use an infrared gun, and as soon as the part you're powder coating reaches 400 degrees or whatever the specified temperature is, that is when you start the 10 minutes. So for example, this wheel or this powder coat here says 400 degrees at 10 minutes PMT. As soon as the wheel hits 400 degrees, I set the time for 10 minutes. As soon as the 10 minutes is up, I pull the wheel out. All right, guys. The 10 minutes is up. We're gonna go ahead and pull it out of the oven and see how she looks. This is always the fun part. Kinda can be nervous sometimes if you're a beginner and you're not sure how well of a job you did, but it's always fun. Wow, that thing looks incredible. That might be some of my best work yet. Holy crap. So, a proper job should look like this. So go bust out the other 3 centers, the other 3 discs, the same exact process, guys, and then we can move on to the lip. All right, guys, well, that last center is in the oven. We can go ahead and get started on these lips. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm grabbing a Scotch-Brite wheel. Grabbing a Scotch-Brite wheel, putting it on this grinder, and I'm gonna grind all this sealant off. There's a few different ways you can do this, but this is probably the fastest way. Wow. This is a dirty job, guys. From here, same exact process with these lips as it was with the centers. We're gonna go ahead, strip as much powder coating off as we can, bring them to the sandblaster, sandblast them, and then clean them and coat them. These lips are going high gloss black. It's like 95% gloss black. Why is it so zoomed in? And so they're gonna look amazing. Like these centers turned out 100% perfect, not a single flaw on them. As you guys can already tell, it takes a lot of time, a lot of prep work. It's all in the prep work, guys. If you're doing a shitty prep job, they're not gonna look good at all. So spend as much time as you can on prepping, get them as best you can, and they're gonna turn out perfect. I promise you that. Got one full lip, fully sandblasted. Now it's time to go ahead, clean it. Same concept as before, guys. This time I'm gonna use a Scotch-Brite pad. So while that lip is in the oven, we need to get the powder swapped out in this little hamper here. So I'm just gonna grab the gun, pull the hamper off of it, and dump the old powder back into the bag. This is a flat black powder. And then we're gonna clean the gun. If I was switching from, I don't know if you guys can see me, but if I was switching from like black to white, I would clean the gun like immaculately, get 100% perfect. But since I'm going from a flat black to a gloss black, I'm still gonna clean it, but I'm not gonna spend hours cleaning the gun because it's not that big of a difference. So let's get this powder put away so I don't accidentally use it. Here is the gloss black powder, but like I already said, you gotta clean out this gun real quick. I'm gonna use some compressed air, blow everything off. Now we can just grab our new powder. Oh, that wheel is done. It's been 10 minutes, so I gotta hurry this up. Grab our powder, throw it in the hamper, and get to coating the wheel lip. This is gonna be fun, guys. I cannot wait to see how glossy these come out. It's going to look amazing. Guys, you always want to store your powder inside the house. You don't want to, it depends where you live, but you don't want the powder to get too hot or too cold. You want it stored in a controlled environment. So not a lot of moisture, around 70 degrees is preferable. Like before, about a third full on the hamper. You don't want it too full, or it kind of just chunks coming out of there. It's hard to explain, but it doesn't come out very nicely. There's not really many difficult areas on this lip, so we can just go ahead and spray it out. There's nothing we got to do first, so it should be pretty straightforward to do. You should probably wear a mask when you're doing this, guys. All right, we should be good there. Throw her in the oven, see how she looks. I am too excited to see how this wheel's gonna look. Too excited. Oh my gosh. Holy shit. Holy shit. That is incredible. The gloss on it is insane. That just looks incredible. I cannot wait to get these wheels done. I'm gonna go bust out the other 3 lips. It's gonna take a while, so I'm just gonna set the camera down and get to work. It's all the same process, guys. Just keep rolling through that same process. So I'll see you guys when I'm all finished up, and then we can check out how everything looks. All right, guys, the wheels are 100% done. I still gotta reassemble them, so if you wanna see the actual end result of everything assembled together, it'll be in the how to rebuild a 3-piece wheel video. So make sure you guys go check out that video. But for now, I'll show you what everything looks like. It came out freaking incredible. So happy with so happy with how everything came out. Cannot wait to get them on the car. Now let's check them out. As you guys can see, they came out looking incredible. I'm so happy with how everything came out, guys. Very, very stoked on these wheels. Cannot wait to get them reassembled, thrown on the FRS. But as always, guys, I'm gonna have every single thing you need to do this down in the description box below, other than like an oven sourced out of Craigslist, guys. Don't go buy a new one. That's gonna be way too much money. And then a sandblaster, you guys can just probably go to Harbor Freight. I'll throw that down in the link down in the description box below as well. And if you guys enjoyed the video, thought it was super helpful. I know a lot of people have been requesting this type of video for a while, a full detailed how to powder coat video. Hit that subscribe button right up in that corner if you truly did enjoy it. Stay tuned for that 3-piece wheel video coming soon. Make sure you guys go check out that video if you want to see everything fully assembled. A few things I want to say before I end the video, a few things I want to address. Probably gonna get a lot of questions. How long does this take? I have about 10 hours into these wheels so far. That includes bringing them to get dismounted and all that. But guys, you got to remember, I am recording everything for YouTube for you guys and try to explain everything, so that literally probably doubled the time. So I would expect to get a full set of wheels completely done if they're powder coated already like these in maybe 6 hours. If they're just painted and you can skip the whole stripping the powder coat and you can go right to sandblasting, probably 4 hours ish. I'd probably book about 4 hours for a full set. And of course, it's gonna be different if they're just monoblock wheels, meaning 1-piece wheels where you don't have to pull anything apart. That would shave some time as well. And also, how much powder do you need? I buy all my powder in bulk because it's cheaper that way. But you could probably get away with 2 pounds of powder for a full set of wheels, 4 wheels. It's super cheap, so you might want to order some more in case you do mess up and have to redo a wheel. So honestly, guys, order like 4 pounds, and that'll be plenty to do a full set of 4. In case you mess up a few times. As always, guys, I really, really appreciate everyone watching. I really appreciate everyone's support. Really hope you enjoyed the video. Till next time, peace out.